parenting can be effortless. Absolutely. Ultimately, what we want to get to as mothers is to be able to guide our children through those challenges, help them, advise them, pass on our wisdom so that life becomes easier for them. They're able to succeed. That's the parenting we all want to do. When a relationship is not there, they won't take it from you. In fact, some of these mistakes I'm going to be referring to today, they lead your child to actually do the opposite of what you're telling them. So even though you're wanting to guide them and help them and you want the very best for them, and the thing that you're trying to bring them closer towards, you end up pushing them away from. And you can see you're making it worse. And that's not the sort of parenting we want. So here are the 7 parenting mistakes to avoid so that you can have that amazing bond and effortless parenting with your child. Welcome to the Happy Home Podcast, where we help Muslim mothers create success and happiness in their personal, professional and family life and raise their children as happy, pious and productive Muslims. My name is Sayed-Hossen and I am your host and the founder of the Happy Home Institute. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this week's podcast, where I'll be sharing with you the 7 mistakes to avoid so that you can effortlessly parent your child. Yes, you heard that right. Parenting can be effortless. Absolutely. When you are able to guide your child through their life challenges, talk to them about their choices, their connection with Allah, help bring them back on the path if they come away and you're not so focused on their salah, if they're having difficulties with school or being motivated or believing that they can do it, all of the challenges we see our children going through. Ultimately, what we want to get to as mothers is to be able to guide our children through those challenges, help them, advise them, pass on our wisdom so that life becomes easier for them. They're able to succeed. Ultimately, that's the parenting we all want to do. That's where we're trying to get to. However, because we make, some pretty big mistakes unknowingly in our parenting, it causes that relationship to be frayed and you're unable to guide your child and be that influence you want to be in their lives because the relationship is not there. When a relationship is not there, they won't take it from you. In fact, some of these mistakes I'm going to be referring to today, they lead your child to actually do the opposite of what you're telling them. So even though you're wanting to guide them and help them and you want the very best for them, it's almost like every time you open your mouth, you're making it worse and you can see you're making it worse. And the thing that you're trying to bring them closer towards, you end up pushing them away from. And that's not the sort of parenting we want. That's the sort of parenting that, makes us want to pull our hair out and scream because we don't know what to do. And I want to help you, my sister, and show you exactly what to do and what to avoid so that parenting becomes how you dream it should be. Because it can be, and I tell you, for the clients I work with, for myself, we've gone on an amazing journey to overcome our own internal struggles in order to be able to avoid these mistakes, because these mistakes, they really are a reflection of how we struggle within ourselves and how we struggle with life impacts our parenting. So it's absolutely crucial that we overcome our own challenges so that we don't pass them on into our parenting. So here are the 7 parenting mistakes to avoid so that you can have that amazing bond and effortless parenting with your child. Number 1, don't hold back your affection. Give your child a lot of affection. Be tactile with them, touch them, stroke them when they walk past you. When you hug them, hold them for a bit longer until they pull away. Put sweet notes in their lunch, and these gestures, that will remind them throughout the day that you love them will go a long way to creating that bond. Now, you don't have to do this all the time, but at least once a day, let your child feel your love. Often as parents, we think that because we have to do a lot for our children, they will know we love them. And yes, of course you love them, but it doesn't work that way. Not concerning love. There's that deep down love that your child knows that they are loved by you. But to really enhance the quality of that relationship, you need to show love. Even showing love between adults in relationship improves the quality of that relationship, let alone when you do that with your child. And if you struggle with showing affection because either you've been hurt in life or you were not shown affection yourself as a child, then of course I understand it might be difficult to show affection. But by overcoming it and getting help to overcome it, it will allow you to break that cycle of not being able to give affection in a relationship, because that's one of the most enjoyable parts of relationship, feeling loved. And you want to make sure that you are not deprived of that any longer, but also that your child isn't deprived of that. And when love is part of a relationship, then your child will be able to flourish in their own relationships in the future, because they know what it's like to show love. And this is something that I help my clients with. And in doing so, there's a lot of healing and a lot of comfort you get by doing so. But also your child, they get the benefit of that. And that parenting relationship between the two of you vastly improves. That's number one. Number two, another mistake that we make is being too controlling, micromanaging our child's life, making them feel like they can't make any decisions for themselves, that their life isn't their own, or that we don't trust them to make the right choices. The impact of that is that your child ends up wanting to get as far away from you so that they can experience freedom. There you are trying to protect them and pulling them close to you, and yet it has the opposite effect of pushing them away. And that sort of freedom, it's costly, because at that point your child isn't thinking about making good choices. No, they just want to feel free, because then they are making poor choices just because they can. So we don't want to put our child in a position where they are trying to gain freedom by being away from us. This is not what you want. And often we think as parents, well, if they're going to make the wrong choices, then that's up to them. I've done my job up until they're 18. Now it's down to them. But I'll be honest with you, my sister, you're not going to be at peace when you watch your child making mistakes in their life or ruining their future. So if your child says to you that you're too controlling, you don't let me do anything, stop trying to control me, let me breathe, and you're hearing these sort of comments from your child, then that's an indicator for you that you're micromanaging them too much, or they feel like you're stifling their growth and it's causing a rift between you. Let them breathe. And if you need some help with that, because you yourself may have had very controlling parents or protective parents, and that's the way they knew to raise you, and so you don't know how else to do it other than being controlling, then come and get some help. Inshallah, and I will help you. But it's really important that we allow our children to feel like they can breathe in our company, they can become independent, they can grow and become their own person. Number 3, don't judge your child. Don't judge your child by their behavior. And here's how you know if you do. If I was to ask you to pause this podcast for a moment and write down 10 qualities about your child, to describe them, what you'll probably find on the list is there's a lot of what frustrates you, what worries you, what you fear the most becoming their future. There's probably going to be a lot of negative qualities on there showing up more than the positive qualities. And if that's the case, then that shows you that you're seeing more negative qualities in your child, obviously because you want good for them and you don't want to see those things, but the more you focus on them, the more it grows. So what you want to focus on instead is understanding that your child's behavior is not a reflection of who they are, but what's going on in their heart instead. The Prophet ﷺ told us that there is a piece of flesh, and if that is good, then the body is good, and if that is corrupt, the body is corrupt, and that piece of flesh is the heart. So when we look at the child and we define them by their behavior, as opposed to addressing the root of the issue at their heart, why that is so detrimental is your child takes on these labels as an identity. They will become what you fear. They will become what you don't like. Instead, what you want to do is help your child address the issues by understanding and come in and get some help for it. But addressing the root of the behavior and understanding how to help them is vital. Otherwise, what we do is we label them by their behavior and they become what we label them. Number 4, listening. Now, this is a huge mistake we make as parents. We talk more than we listen. We think that we have to teach, impart our knowledge, and remind our children countless times in the day, so that most of our conversation becomes about that, where we're giving information. But that giving of information does not create great relationships. What you want to do instead is to spend time listening to your child. Really take time to listen to them. Stop what you're doing for a moment and say to them, tell me it's okay. Talk to me. What you have to say is important to me. Let them know that. Because if you think of some of your greatest relationships, it's when you feel understood and heard. When someone takes the time to listen and understand you, it has the greatest impact on that relationship. But how often do we do that to our children? How often do we just stop? Even if we have to stop the car for a moment, if there's something important, or we turn off the cooker for a moment, if they really need to talk to us, and we stop and listen. This is not something to multitask. It's really important that your child knows that you actually make time to listen and what they have to say is important to you. And of course it is. But how often do we show that in taking the time and stopping what we need to do sometimes, or saying to them, look, I'm driving right now, or we're rushing out the door, but this is really important to me. I'll come back and we'll discuss it later today. And that will show them that they're really important in that relationship. Number 5, don't make them feel worthless when they make a mistake. Reassure your child when they make a mistake. Don't make them feel worthless. Don't make them feel condemned. Don't teach them that there's no coming back from what they've done, or it will take forever to gain your trust. Because what children understand from the way we react to them when they've made a mistake is how Allah SWT is with them when they make a mistake. So if we're harsh, then they will think Allah is harsh. If we are unforgiving, then they'll think Allah is unforgiving. If we keep raising it, it really feels like they haven't been forgiven. So how we behave when they make a mistake not only impacts the quality of our relationship with them, but it also impacts the quality of their relationship with Allah. So when they make a mistake, be supportive, be reassuring. Don't say, I told you so. Say, I'm here for you. I'll support you through this. Let me help you, talk it through, and you can come up with a plan of how to overcome it. I'm here for you to support you. That will teach your child that you're there for them no matter what. When they feel that from you, it will really create a most amazing bond for them. They'll know they can come to you, and that's really what parents want. That's what mothers want. We want the sort of relationship where our child feels like they can come to us for anything. Yet when they do, we say things like, I told you so, or don't tell me, I don't want to know. But if we say, don't tell me, I don't want to know, then your child is just going to try and figure that out on their own. If you can't handle it, then get some help so that you can handle the realities of what your child is going through. But don't ever say, don't tell me, I don't want to know, because you can't handle it. Because that really does impact that relationship with your child and your ability to guide them in the future. Responding like that will help your child learn and grow from their mistakes rather than cover them up. Then we will find that our children are able to take accountability, tell the truth. They won't need to deny and hide their mistakes, but they see mistakes as an opportunity to grow, and you've supported them to learn how to do that. This is so key. Otherwise, we learn in our adult lives through very costly mistakes in our work, in our relationships, in our career. Personally, it's really something that we want to support our children with. So we must be able to leave the door open when they make a mistake to know that we won't judge them harshly. We'll help them through it. Number 6. One of the mistakes we make as parents that really does impact our child and our relationship with our child is when we fail to believe in our child. So believe in your child. Believe that your child is able to achieve great things in their life, really make a difference. Imagine if as a mom you said to your child, I know you're going to do something amazing in the world. I know that Allah SWT created you with a special gift to help people, impact people, make a difference. Imagine if your mom tells you that, how amazing it would be. So believe in your child before your child even believes in themselves, because they'll look to you to determine for themselves who they are and what they're capable of. So when we don't believe in our child, You will find that your child struggles with ambition, self-esteem, and confidence because they didn't feel that we believed in them, and consequently they didn't believe in themselves. So it's really important to believe in your child. Number 7, try to pause when you're frustrated and upset with your child until you're calm, and then speak to them in a calm and gentle way. The mistake we make is that we don't calm ourselves down when we address our child, when we talk to them about important issues. And what comes out is something that causes more damage sometimes than good. Children are really sensitive to how you think of them. With your sensitive children, for example, that even if you are not shouting, but your tone is frustrated, that they'll say to you, "Mum, you're shouting at me," and you're thinking, "No, I'm not." But perhaps you are frustrated, and they really pick up on that. And suddenly they stop hearing what you're saying because they're too upset with the fact that you're upset with them. So if we want to be heard and really, get our point across, talk gently and calmly to your child when you're not frustrated, in a way where it's about helping them understand your point, rather than to, voice and rant about why you're feeling what you're feeling and why they don't listen. That is not going to be very productive in trying to get them to listen. So the way we want to get our children to listen is to talk gently and calmly, and be able to help them see that we're trying to support them and what we're saying is for their good. It's amazing when a child feels like that, as opposed to it being about you and your frustration and what you do for them. The difference in whether they listen to you or not is huge. Plus, if you're largely in control of your emotions and you don't spill over onto your child, then that really will improve your relationship with your child, so that parenting becomes effortless. Coming back to the topic of what we were discussing today, throughout these 7 mistakes, I'm hoping you'll see that when you overcome those, you will have the most beautiful relationship with your child, so close that your child will want to listen to you, follow your guidance, come to you, talk to you, do kind things for you, because they've been shown so much love and respect in the relationship. And when they've made mistakes, you've been there to help them, guide them, lead them gently, calmly, without judgment. These foundations are key for a great relationship with your child, and a great relationship with your child equals effortless parenting. Now, I hope that you've been able to take, everything I say here and see the impact it can have if you implement it. And for many of you, that might be very easy. A few tweaks and you're good to go. But if some of you are listening and thinking, actually, we have some real big challenges before we even get to that point we need to overcome, whether your child is very distant or very rebelling at this point, or whether you're struggling with your own emotions. And so, helping your child seems like it's not a priority right now because you need to help yourself first. Then do get in touch, book a sales consultation with me to find out how I can help you through working together, getting over these obstacles so that you can get to that point where parenting is effortless. You enjoy it, you enjoy your time with your child. That's what we all want. That's what I want for you. And if that means we have to overcoming some hurdles, then let's do that, because what's waiting for you on the other side feels like Jannah on earth. And I want that for you, and I know you want that for yourself, sister. So let's do what we have to do so that you can enjoy happy memories with your child, inshallah, and help be that influence in their life that guides them, supports them through life. That's the most amazing feeling. Alhamdulillah. Okay, we'll leave it there. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.